Episode 382, Adobe and Claude join forces.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
Adobe has just released a connector that brings 50 of its pro-grade creative tools, including Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, Express, and Firefly, directly into Claude. You stay in the chat, Adobe does the work. Hello, and you're very welcome back to AI6. I'm Joanne Sweeney, on a mission to upskill 500,000 people in AI in just 6 minutes a day. A quick note before we get into today's episode. This is a sponsored episode, and it is supported by Adobe because I am an Adobe Express ambassador. So, at the end of last week, Adobe and Anthropic announced the Adobe for Creativity connector, available globally inside Claude. It's part of a wider push from Anthropic called Claude for Creative Work, bringing creative software into the chat through a standard called MCP, Model Context Protocol. In plain English, that means that Adobe's tools now plug into Claude the same way as an app plugs into your phone. Once installed, you describe what you want in your own words, and the connector orchestrates the steps across Photoshop, Illustrator, Lightroom, Firefly, Express, Premiere, InDesign, and Adobe Stock. You don't choose the tools, you don't sequence the workflow, you describe the outcome. So this is really conversational AI at play. So let me walk you through a few of the workflows that I've been testing. The first is with headshots and profile pics. Drop in a set of photos or an event photo. Tell Claude you want balanced lighting, maybe a softened background, and a portrait crop for LinkedIn. The connector pulls in the right Photoshop and Lightroom tools, and it applies them accordingly. So then you've got production-ready images without having to swap between the Adobe apps. The second case study is creating social media campaign assets. Again, describe your campaign. Maybe it's a public consultation, a recruitment drive, or a product launch. The connector services Adobe Express templates inside the chat. You update the text and the colors. You can animate it if you wish. And then you have a publish-ready asset. Again, for under-resourced, overworked comms teams, it's real value add. And then the third example is video resizing. You might record a horizontal clip, maybe it's a CEO message or a 30-second spokesperson piece to camera. You upload it and you ask it to be reformatted for YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, LinkedIn, and TikTok. The connector handles the cropping and the dimensions for each platform. 1 clip, 4 platform-ready outputs. So, how to get started? You install it from inside Claude. So you don't even need an Adobe account to start. Guest users get access to around 40 standard tools right away. If you sign in with your Adobe account, including free, you unlock more tools, higher usage limits, and your work saves across all sessions. So your assets don't disappear when you close the chat. So it works in 3 places. You've got Claude on the web and mobile, Claude desktop, and Co-work, which is Anthropic's desktop app for working with files directly. So you have to set the connector up on web or desktop first, and after that, you can use it on the mobile app. And when you've taken the work as far as you want inside Claude, you can hand it off to the full Adobe app. You can batch edit photos in Claude, then send them to Firefly boards, pick a template inside Claude, then open it in Express to keep iterating, so that you've got that seamless movement between the apps. Or, of course, you can just download the assets and finish in whichever Adobe app you prefer. So, for many years, if you weren't a skilled expert in creative design, maybe this work would have taken you a lot longer. But now we have the Claude Assistant acting as our creative assistant, and you are the creative director, prompting with your directions, with your brief. So really interesting collaboration, and we're seeing a lot more of them on the AI and creative scene. So go ahead and try it out. And if you've got some really interesting case studies or use cases that you want to share with me, make sure to get in touch, and I'd love to invite you on for a conversation on Saturday's Long Listen. That's it for today's show. If you're ready to turn these insights into skills, here's how I can help. Get your copy of my book, AI Playbook, on Amazon. It's the perfect companion to the show. For weekly AI strategy, subscribe to my newsletter, Human in the Loop, on LinkedIn. Or if you want to take the next big step, you can take our CPD accredited professional diploma in AI. Maybe you need something more tailored for your organization. You can book a call in my calendar at digitaltraining.ie. Or if you work in government or public sector, go over to publicsectormarketingpros.com. If you found this episode useful, please share it with a pro that you know. And I'd love to read your comments on Spotify. And if you can, take a second to like, rate, or subscribe wherever you listen. It really helps the show. This is AI6. I'll talk to you on the next episode.